The season of free is in full swing at T-Mobile. And this time, we're going big, like the biggest screen you'll ever see at T-Mobile big. Because we're giving away 50-inch Samsung 4K TVs. You heard right, a free 50-inch TV delivered in time for the holidays when you get one of the latest Samsung phones and add a line. So get to a T-Mobile store right now, because this deal won't last long.
At participating stores, offer fulfilled by Samsung with online redemption code. Qualifying credit, new line of service, timely redemption, and phone finance agreement required. 2 new lines required for new customers. 1 offer per account.
Welcome, Atlanta. I have a wonderful guest with me today. We're going to talk about his new book today. It's called Stop Being a Douche, A Guide to Relationships and Marriage by Joshua, is it Gotte? Am I pronouncing that right?
Gotte, yes. Yes,
So
you did.
welcome on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, now you're a friend of Ed's, and he was on here about a month and a half ago, and it was just wonderful having him here. So, any friend of Ed's?
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Awesome.
So, what made you write this book?
Well, after a 13-year marriage came to an end, I kind of had to sit down and think about what happened overall. And when I look back and figured out that it was mostly due to the things that I did in the relationship, I figured that I would share that with the world because I see it happening every day with people I know, people I grew up with, people I just met, and I figured people just needed to know how to or get a different perspective on relationships.
That is a wonderful thing because there's so many things in America and other countries. I think the divorce rate is 50% now, maybe higher. I'm not really sure. But it's something we have to look at from a different perspective. And I can't talk today, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. We do need a different perspective because things have changed so much over the last century, and it seems like old values that were solid values have just disappeared.
Right. We have women in the workplace. We have children going to work at 15, 16 years old. We also see the dynamic now where sometimes in some households women make more than their counterpart. And it's just a different dynamic than what we had 100 years ago.
Exactly. And then you have, of course, the downfall of social media and digital dating where people stopped really meeting people face-to-face.
Correct. That's just been here within the last 20 years. And then you have that whole genre. Yeah, the Internet is a wonderful thing if it's used properly. But how many people actually use it for how it was intended to be used?
Yeah, not many.
So there's two sides of every coin. So we see that today, and we're going to see more and more of the social media coming into play as we go into the next century.
Yes, especially, I think in 2017 alone, we saw about 140 new different types of dating apps that came out.
I don't know. I'm not
as people get more comfortable with, not going out and meeting people the old-fashioned way, like face-to-face, being able to read people's reactions, not being able to hide behind a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
That's all but disappeared, and I think people need to get back to that because that's how you find real people.
Right. We can have relationships on the computer, but how well do you actually know the person without sitting down and meeting with them? And that's just the honest truth.
Exactly. Yeah, and I can say I've done it. I did it in the past before, when there was still dial-up internet. And you never really know who you're talking to on the other side of that thing, so.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm kind of
I talk
old-fashioned.
to people. Yeah, I talk to people, of course, with my job titles. I have to talk to people, and the internet's a wonderful thing for me to connect with them. But other than the work relationships, how do I know who I'm really talking to?
Right. And from a professional standpoint, it's a little different. But, yeah, when it comes to relationships, it's a little iffy.
Yes, I understand that. I met my current husband on the internet because at the time I was just in a bad place, and I couldn't meet people the old-fashioned way. But that was
right.
7 years ago. Things have changed now.
Yeah, and after me and my ex-wife separated, I found myself getting on the dating apps, and I think I joined like 5 or 6 of them, and connected with quite a few people, but never met anyone in person, and actually found the person I'm dating now face to face. So it just proved to me more concretely that, the old-fashioned way is still more sincere, better
Right.
in my opinion.
Right. It's just going to a bookstore, having a cup of coffee, and making yourself a regular, then talking to people that are around you that are regulars, and then you get to know people that way.
Yep.
It can be done.
And I actually met my current girlfriend on a TV show set.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Of course it was. You should write a book about it.
I might.
Now, you never know. Inspiration can come from anywhere.
Yep.
Now, you also have a sci-fi fantasy out there as well.
I do. Currently, I'm working on book 2 of that series. It's supposed to be a 4-book series.
Interesting. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that series is called Revolve. It deals with this guy named Darian. He moved to Texas for this new job, and he's a genetic engineer. And things kind of go shady for a little while, and then everything just goes downhill like really fast. But what's interesting about the story is I wrote the whole thing from his point of view, like he's the one talking to the reader.
Mm-hmm.
So every now and then in the story that he's telling, he'll take a break and like speak directly to the readers.
That's very interesting.
And I've gotten a lot of good reviews on the book. People have loved it. They've been waiting for book 2 for over a year, so I kind of had to stop being a douche out of the way first because it was taking precedence in my mind. But now that I got that done, I'm focusing back on the series, so it should come out pretty quick.
That is awesome. I mean, as authors, we always find one book gets stuck in our head, and we have to write that book before we go to one that we want to write. I find that
exactly because I was.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was trying to do both at the same time, and I just couldn't. I got Revolve. I got a block on it, so I had to finish the other book first.
Yes. I was doing the same thing with. I was trying to write a short story, book 4 of my fantasy series, and a cookbook. I just finished the short story, and now I have to go back to the cookbook to get that out before the end of the year.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's not what I want to write, but it's what's right in my head at this moment.
Well, I look forward to reading your stuff as well. So.
Well, thank you. You can also I can't say too much about this, but sometime next year you'll probably see promos to where you can see it as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can't give away too much, but we start production next year.
Oh, I did hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, just a little. I put teasers out there, but you know how that goes. I cannot keep a secret, so if you want it spread to the world, I'm the one to tell.
Well, that's good, because that's exactly what I want for these books.
Exactly. That's why you're on Atlanta Mix, and we're getting you as much exposure as we can, because you have awesome books out there that people need to read, not just for relationships that people really need help with, but also the fantasy realm as well.
And I'm all about, and I believe that everyone needs an escape from reality every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And those fiction authors out there, including myself, that's how we can help people. And I mean, it helps me escape reality just writing it, because every time I go back to read what I've written previously, I'm like, whoa, did that really happen?
Yeah, we
and I'm
do
the one
that
who wrote
a lot.
It, so it's crazy.
Well, it's funny because I wrote my first book 3 years ago, and I'm just picking it up to reread it right now to try to work on the fourth book in the series. I'm like, what? Did I write this? Because I
did the same thing. I had to.
You forget what you write, and then you have to go back, especially with series, go back and reread what you already have written. Going to remember everything.
Yep, I just had to do that recently, so I went ahead and I got a giant whiteboard, and I started doing like a character breakdown tree on my whiteboard. That way I can't forget anything.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to do that yet. I'm still pantser. I still go with whatever pops in my head, and I somehow make it work.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes.
But
since
I wrote Stop Being a Douche, I actually had a friend of mine from the past got a hold of me, and they were like, hey, you just wrote this book about, not being a douchebag in a relationship and having your relationship end. They were like, why don't you do something on the opposite end of the spectrum? So it got me thinking. So I might have another nonfiction coming out in the next year or so.
Well, that is awesome.
Got me thinking.
Because it's multi-genre, and that's great, because then you get to corner everything on this bookshelf, not just one little niche.
Right.
So,
but I don't know if I can do a cookbook like you.
Well, I have a culinary arts background, so the cookbooks, it makes sense. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to cook everything that I know how to cook anymore, but I still have the memories, and I can just translate that into recipes. So it's a little complicated.
I mean, have you gotten a chance to read the book, or do you have any questions about the book?
I got to read a little bit of the book today, but I will be perfectly honest. I do this radio station. I am currently doing script writing for about 5 authors, because their books also got picked up for production next year. And who do they turn to write the scripts but me? And then I also have the translations coming out for 3 of the books that I'm working on.
Oh.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Plus the marketing for my publishing house. So I sit in front of the computer and I'm like, really? What am I doing right this second? I have to think about it.
Yeah, you sound like me. I've got too many things going on at one time.
Yes, and trying to prioritize and go back to school is just insane.
Are you going back to school as well? Because I'm in college right now as well.
I am. I'm the director of marketing for Wild Dreams Publishing. I learned nothing about marketing except from what I've been doing, so I went back to school through Boston University to learn marketing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I have to learn what my job title actually entails because I know nothing, but evidently I'm killing it according to the authors I work with.
Well, that's good because I might be relying on you later too.
That's fine. I'm here. I love spreading knowledge and I love helping people, so I'm here. We're connected on Facebook, so it's a wonderful network.
Yeah, and that's my goal. That's my goal too, is to just be able to help people. I mean, I've helped a lot of people like face to face in the area of finding a new perspective, because everyone gets so caught up in the way that they've always thought that they forget that there's different ways to think about things. So that's what I provide most of the time.
Yeah, I also do life coaching, so I come up with this all the time. So I do too much stuff.
But I agree. I do the same thing because I have a YouTube channel. I have my books. I have all kinds of other stuff going on right now that I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah, it gets insane for authors. Everyone thinks we just sit and we write these wonderful, crazy stories 24/7. Well, we don't. We throw in a mixture of X, Y, and Z that has nothing to do with the book itself.
I wish I could write 24/7. That would be great.
Yeah, so do I. I miss those days. But life gets in the way.
Yeah, especially with children, which I have 3, so.
I have 1, but she feels like 3. My daughter's autistic, so she literally acts like 3 different children.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But she's getting better now that she's a teen, but then you throw the whole teen drama in there, and you're going, can she be 20 yet?
Yes. I have a teenager myself, and I also have a 4-year-old girl, and it is hard.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll just say hard.
Yes. Yes. But we do what we can for our kids. Then we write and we try to inspire them to make their own path in life.
Yes, we do. And it's actually awesome because last Christmas, my mother couldn't figure out what she wanted to get my son for Christmas because he was about to turn 13. So she went ahead and she bought him my book, my Revolve book. And he's read that book probably 18 times, and he loves it.
Okay, funny thing. My daughter's my editor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she reads every word almost as I'm typing it. And she'll sit over my shoulder. That's spelled wrong. You're using the wrong tense there. What are you doing? This doesn't make sense. She also does line editing.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. She has the form of autism that makes her extremely smart with the English language.
Oh, well, if I need an editor, I know who to call.
Yes. I told her she already has a job because I make her do editing for my publishing company. Goes, Mom, I'm not getting paid. Yes, you are. You got a roof over your head and food on your belly. You're getting paid. Now, when you turn 18, you can have a full-time job doing this. So,
Yeah, well,
it's a
that's
little
good.
give and take. But other than
I
your
have to
second
say
book,
that.
go ahead.
Oh yes, go ahead.
We keep talking over it. I did the same thing, Dad. Well, it looks
What were you
like.
gonna say?
Where can our listeners find your books?
Where? Okay. Well, if they would like an ebook of either of the books, they can get it at pretty much any online retailer or online library around the globe. The only place it is not that I know of is Google Play Books. And if they want a physical copy of either of the books, they can find it on Amazon.
That is
The easiest
wonderful.
one.
And again, you're on Facebook. Do you take non-authors on your page or just anyone?
My personal Facebook page is mostly for lifelong friends and ex-military friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a few authors on my personal page, but I also have a page for my books. And that's facebook.com/GotteBooks. And there's a whole page there for anyone. They can check out the books. I have links to everything. I have excerpts that I post, discounts.
And real quick before we leave, thank you for your service.
Oh, not a problem.
My family's military, so I make sure I always thank my vets.
Yep, my family is too, so.
Well, it was nice having you with us today, and I do look forward to your
amazing
second fantasy book and hopefully another nonfiction book.
We'll see what happens in the future.
Well, keep me posted, and I will talk to you later.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And Alanda, good night and happy reading. And we're out. Thank you so much. I know today's been a crazy day for you.
Yeah, because I'm actually in between filming right now. I'm on my way to the second set to continue filming.
Yeah. Well, have fun and let me know what you're filming when it comes out.
Oh, it's NCIS New Orleans. It should be out in like 2 weeks.
Really? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched both NCIS shows, so yeah.
All right.
But
well,
thank
have
you.
yourself a nice day.
You too. Bye.